Back in the days, North Dakota was dubbed the Badlands. Much of that was due to its unforgiving territory, but after learning more about the state, it could get that name for the amount of supernatural and overall terrifying things that happen here since its statehood. I'm your host Andrew, and today we're going to talk about the top 10 North Dakota scary urban legends. Coming in at number 10 spot, we have Trollwood Park. In Fargo, North Dakota is the Trollwood Park. And at first glance, it really looks like your typical park, but that should all change once you realize it was built directly on top of a cemetery and former asylum. Obviously, those who built the park knew of this and already planned to move many of the bodies away, but it's confirmed that they didn't manage to take out all of them. As briefly mentioned, the Cass County Hospital was built on top of the park around 1895, and over the years, many people were left buried with no tombstones or even a marking of their location, which is why many remain in this park to this day. One notorious ghost that haunts the area is a woman wearing a blue dress that dances around the willow trees, and other visitors here claim that the ghosts here like to call out names in order to get people to lay them to rest finally. And oddly enough, in one instance, erosion caused one of the graves to resurface, causing one visitor to trip on real human bones. Imagine you're just playing in a playground only to stumble upon century-old human bones. At the number 9 spot with the Mini Washitu. The Dakota tribe has talked about a river monster named the Mini Washitu that has terrorized the Missouri River since the beginning of time. This creature is a 7 to 8 feet tall bipedal with bison-like fur, one eye like a cyclops, and a single horn above that one eye, and it also has a very spiny backbone. This creature wasn't known for its bloodthirsty tendencies or even its power. Instead, those who have seen the creature ended up just going crazy, and the only way for them to feel any sort of peace is death. One man wrote about this creature saying that he spotted it upstream in the Missouri River. He said it was red in color with hair like buffalo, but when he saw it, everything went dark. And the last thing he wrote was that he was walking home, but when he arrived, he lost all sort of reason and passed away in a couple of minutes. Kinda sounds like the Netflix movie Bird Box, doesn't it? So best to keep your blindfolds with you in North Dakota. At a number 8 spot, we have the Stairway to Hell. Yup, if you're looking for a direct way to hell, this place might be for you. Jokes aside, located in Tegas, North Dakota is what many claim to be the Stairway to Hell. And with a claim like that, there must be something very terrifying about it. The town of Tegas is now completely abandoned, but when it opened up in the early 1900s, some crazy things happened here. There were rumors of an old Lutheran church that specialized in satanic worship, and some even claim that they did real human sacrifices here. Although the location of the church is not exactly known, what is known that it has been partially burned down, but there is still some who claim to have found it. They say the church is marked with an upside down cross at the front, and apparently everyone who has come down to the basement has never come back up. Now it has claimed so many lives that people started to think it was a stairway to hell. But hey, I guess the only way to find out about this is to walk it down yourself. Are you interested? At number 7 spot, we're the Sandhaven Sanatorium. The Sandhaven Sanatorium, otherwise known as a Sanatorium of Death, was built in 1911, and ever since, it has been a hot spot for paranormal investigators due to the dark history attached to the place. When the place was active, much of it was used to treat those with tuberculosis, and the issue is that the cure didn't come until 1946, which gave around 30 years of deaths due to this illness. Eventually, the need for the sanatorium died down, and the place ended up closing in 1989. After being repurchased, it was found that over 1,000 people passed away inside of the sanatorium, with the majority of them being in unmarked graves. To make matters worse, many satanic worshippers has made their way here to perform rituals using pentagrams and even sacrifice. Eventually, ghost adventurers made their way here as well, and even spoke with another spirit inside of the property. Others believe that patients of this place were badly mistreated, which could give more reason to all these hauntings. At a number 6 spot, we have Devil's Lake. When you get a name like this, you can't be surprised if anything bad happens to you here. The thing most people worry about when they step foot into this water is the Devil's Lake monster. The legend goes that centuries ago, many Siletz Indians vanished into the lake after their vessel was pulled down by giant tentacles. When the first Christian missionaries arrived in the Lincoln City area, local Native Americans told them of an octopus-like creature that appeared during periods of long drought. They even host a festival every single year for this creature, and back in those days, they used to sacrifice various animals into the lake. But obviously that's not done now. But as with any other sea monster, this creature still remains a huge mystery because in some accounts, people describe it as a Loch Ness Monster lookalike, but in others, people lay claim that it resembles a large giant octopus or something like the Kraken. In the Humphrey list, we have White Lady Lane. Sometime in the early 20th century in the town of Walhalla, there was a 16-year-old girl named Anna Story who met with a much older man named Samuel Khalil, who was out selling items in the marketplace. As soon as Samuel saw Anna, he fell deeply in love and went straight to the mother to ask for permission to be with her daughter. Since there was a huge age gap and the fact that the daughter was only 16 years old, the mother denied any sort of romantic romantic relationship. However, she made an offer, which was to allow her to use all of Sam's items, and in a year's time, she would grant him the permission he wanted. Samuel agreed and gave the mother much of his valuable items. Then we fast forward a year, and Samuel comes back to the town of Walhalla to settle his deal and get the daughter. However, when he confronted Anna's mother, she still denied and wouldn't even give back the items she borrowed. So in a rage, Samuel pushed the mother aside and took the daughter, but there was an immediate struggle. So he grabbed his firearm, shot Anna point blank, killing her immediately. Sam would then try to end his own life and the mother's, but was unsuccessful and was later arrested. Now locals claim that Anna's spirit can be found on White Lady Lane, wearing the same white nightgown the night she was murdered. At number 4 spot, we have Chateau de Moore. The Chateau de Moore in Medora, North Dakota is a very historical site here. First, it was built by Marquis de Moore back in 1883 for a hunting lodge. He, his wife Medora, and their children lived in the house for many years with no issues, until one day Medora decided to go out traveling and never ended up returning back. Ever since that occasion, the family was terrorized by her spirit to the point when they had to move out of the hunting lodge altogether. And you can still visit the home, and much of the family's belongings are still found inside, which led many people to believe that Medora's spirit is still inside the home as well. This is because various visitors claim that a voice is telling them to get out of the house, while others recall that the house is filled with all sorts of unexplained cold spots. At a number 3 spot, we have the Stack Monster. In Bismarck, North Dakota lies the infamous Liberty Memorial Building. It was originally built in 1924 and is the oldest building on the Capitol grounds. More specifically, the library inside of the building is where many have had strange occurrences. This is because it's said that the library is haunted by a creature known as the Stack Monster. This monster would flicker lights, push people into harm's way, and overnight workers have claimed to hear very loud footsteps in the library when no one else is around. And these hauntings aren't specific to humans only. One time, the former director of the State Historical Society came into the library with his dog, only to see his dog's hair stand up, and it couldn't stop barking at a dark section of the library. At a number 2 spot, we have the NDSU campus. 2 NDSU residence halls are said to be haunted by different spirits. First, we have the ghost of a man who hung himself on a heating pipe within Sarah's Hall. As well, students have mentioned everything from lights going out on entire levels to sensing an odd presence nearby. The 2 areas with the most paranormal activity here are the basement and the 3rd floor. When people enter the basement of the Sarah's Hall, there have been numerous accounts of people who feel a strange feeling of panic and a triggering fight or flight response when they enter. On the other end, we have the Menard Hall, and legend states that one morning after a school dance, a janitor found the bodies of 2 students in the dance room. The case ended up going cold, which is kinda ironic since students who enter this hall report that there are far too many cold spots for it to be considered normal. At number 1 spot, we have the Riverside Cemetery. Opening in 1878, this cemetery, located alongside the Red River in South Fargo, is the largest and oldest cemetery in North Dakota. And this place is possibly the only cemetery where you may hear voices coming from the tombstones. As the number of paranormal occurrences increased at the cemetery, ghost hunters came in and have apparently recorded what sounds like knocking near the doors to several mausoleums. Other visitors have reported that they've seen bizarre, unexplained mist, orbs, and even different strange anomalies that appeared in photos and videos of the area. So if you ever want to see it, go search for a YouTube video of this place and you probably will see why it's haunted. Well, these are the top 10 North Dakota scary urban legends. What do you guys think about this list? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts and some suggestions for the next videos. I'm your host Andrew, and I hope you guys have a scary day.